everyone, welcome back. Today I thought I'd show you how to print a PDF pattern. I know for some of you it's your first time doing it, and the first time is always a bit nerve-wracking, so I thought I'd run through the whole process, and then at the end I'll show you the most efficient way to fold the pattern and place it together and tape it. So once you've downloaded the pattern, the first thing you want to do is go find your downloads folder. Open up My Computer, and down the side you will see the Downloads tab. Click on this folder and you'll see your pattern that you've just downloaded. Double click on the pattern and the folder will open up. Depending on what pattern you've purchased, you'll see different files here, but you'll usually always see the same files. It will be an A0 file, A4 file, US letter file, and the instructions. I will break down and explain what these files are. The A0 file is what you would take to a store and they'll print the pattern for you. They'll print the whole pattern out on a massive sheet, which is why you can't print this out at home because you need a special printer to do it. This is the easiest option and the one I recommend the most because it cuts down the whole time of preparing the pattern. The only downside is that it does cost a little bit of money. It's about $3 to $5 depending on where you live. But I always recommend the A0 file, especially if you're doing something like a big long dress or long pants. This will save you a lot of time. The second file is an A4 file. If you live somewhere like the UK or Australia, the printers use this format of paper. The third format is the US letter format. This size format is usually designed for American and Canadian home printers. If you live in America or Canada, I highly recommend using this format when printing, as this is what your printer uses. The paper between an A4 and a US letter size are very similar, but there's enough difference that it will cause a problem if you live in the US and you use the A4 format. Also included are the instructions. Double click on the instructions and go to the table of contents. On there you'll see a section How to Print. Go down to this section and this will give you a guide on how to print your pattern at home and what settings to use. I highly recommend using Adobe Acrobat. This software enables you to take off layers of sizing on your pattern. This makes the whole process much easier. There is a free version available of Adobe Acrobat, and if you click on the little link, you can download it for free. This is a very simple process. If you need any help, please feel free to message me. For those of you who aren't as comfortable with computers, I have written a little sentence here saying if you don't know how to use Adobe Acrobat and you feel uncomfortable using the layered patterns, feel free to email me and I can send you the single size only. Read through these 2 pages and this will tell you what settings you need to print off your pattern correctly. I will go through these settings in the video. For those of you who have received your patterns in a zip file, this is how you unzip your file. Firstly, highlight all the files, then go to the top corner and press Extract All. You could also right-click and go Extract All as well, and then click where you want your pattern to be extracted to. I keep it in the same location as the download. Once your pattern has been extracted, right-click on the pattern you require and go to Open With and then pick Adobe Acrobat. Once it is open, click on the symbol on the left-hand corner and you'll see all the layers. Unclick the sizes you do not wish to print. If you wish to grade between sizes, you may want to have 2 or 3 sizes selected. Always keep the print markings and pattern markings selected as well. The pattern markings are the markings on your pattern which give you instructions, and the print markings are the markings along the top which shows you the page number and the measurement guide. So before you print, ensure you have the print markings, pattern markings, and the size you wish selected. And then go up to the File Print button or simply click the print icon on the main page. Once the print screen comes up, these are the settings you'll need to have. Firstly, ensure your file is being sent to the correct printer. Next, I personally like to print in black and white to save colour, and I also like to save ink and toner. Therefore, I'll tick these 2 boxes. Next, move to the amount of pages you would like to print. I always advise for the first page you're printing to just print the first page. This is because you'll want to test out and measure the top line to ensure you've printed the pattern off at the correct measurement with the correct settings. Next, for the page size and handling, you'll want to make sure you always select actual size. Ensure print on both sides of the paper is not selected. We only want to print the pattern on one side of each piece of paper. For page orientation, click Auto, and if Auto doesn't exist on your printing settings, pick Portrait. Finally, go to Page Setup and pick the correct size paper. If you have picked the A4 format, and you live in Australia or the UK, for example, you will need to pick the A4 paper under the source. If you live in America or Canada and you have used the US letter format, then you will need to go into paper source and pick letter. You'll notice once you put these settings in, the pattern goes in and it leaves white space around the pattern. I've designed this so it gives you room to fold the paper over so you can connect the pattern correctly and align the diamonds. When all the settings are in place, select print. Now I will show you the most efficient way to fold the edges so you can put the pattern together. Once you have printed the pattern, lay all the pattern pieces out. So for this example, I have A1 and A2 and they go next to each other. I have designed the pattern so you only need to fold one edge between two connecting pieces of paper. My preference is I fold the right-hand side and bottom edge of every piece of paper. That way they all fit nicely. Flip the paper over and fold up the long edge first and make a little bend where the ink ends and do this all the way along like this. This is what it will look like. Next, do the bottom edge as you did on the side edge. Turn the paper over and make a crease where the ink ends and do this all the way along. Now for this piece, you will have two folded edges, one long edge and one short edge. Place this piece of paper over the edges of the second piece of paper. Align the diamonds and sellotape in place. Once you have put the whole pattern together and sellotaped all pieces of paper, you are now ready to cut the pattern out and use it. If you need any help at all, please feel free to message me at any point and I'll help you through the process. Thank you again for your support and watching this tutorial, and happy sewing!